digital self-building, gamification of modules for mass customized homes. In the coming decades, the majority of people will live in an urban setting. More than 3 billion people live in cities today, and it is estimated that 60% of people will live in cities by 2030. Urban sprawl and mass densification create inhospitable environments to those who inhabit them. Miles of strip malls and endless corridors alienate and dehumanize our experience with the built environment. We are all looking for a place to call home, but unfortunately, building supply is dwindling. From the 1970s to the mid-2000s, the construction industry produced 130 new units for every 100 households formed. The subprime mortgage crisis created a vacuum where supply was far greater than demand. And because of this, construction on new homes has stagnated. And for the last decade, for every 100 new households, only about 100 new housing stock was added to the market. In addition to growing population and lack of supply, the majority of the construction industry is still using 19th century practices. Most projects today require all raw materials to be shipped on site, cut to dimension, and assembled. As we all know, this is incredibly time inefficient and resource heavy. Not to mention the headache that is communicating between the field and the office. All of this leads to prolonged deadlines and increasing the cost of construction, which in turn makes the ability to create enough homes for our growing population that much more difficult. In the coming months, I am going to enter this housing market, and I dread it. I want to give my daughter a backyard and a treehouse like I had when I grew up, but with our current circumstances, I don't know if I will be able to. Because of this, my thesis has sought to reimagine architecture and re-envision the role of the architect. The root of the word architect is the Greek architekton, or master builder. For most of our history, we worked in the field alongside master craftsmen to create our vision. This romantic practice is now rarely an exception and is primarily reserved for the wealthiest among us. The digital revolution has the ability to restore this master builder role and bring architecture to the masses. I propose that all architecture should be pre-designed modular assemblies that users can digitally assemble and customize themselves. Architects would be tasked with creating modules that snap together to create mass customizable homes. These modules could then be uploaded to an online archive where users could pick and choose what pieces they want to assemble, customize, and choose their finish. Metrics like cost, carbon usage, real-time renderings, and VR walkthroughs could all be calculated in real time to help inform the user. Once completed, the plans are sent to a manufacturer where the modules are created in-house and shipped to site. This process brings us closer to the success of the Sears housing catalog by providing the user an intimate and autonomous role and distances us from modernism's failed one-size-fits-all prefabricated universal homes. I envision this as a way to dismantle the barrier between client and architect, and as a way to provide high design to people that would normally not be able to afford an architect.